Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be doing one of these non-gaming videos that I do every so often on the channel. This time we're gonna be talking about autism and how it relates to sexuality, because there's actually a big link between those two topics, which I actually didn't think was possible. But once I explain why, you'll see why there is a big link. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So when I'm talking about sexuality, I mean, like, what do you identify as? Are you straight? Are you gay? Are you bisexual? Are you asexual? All these things and more so are how people identify themselves, But there's actually a big link between sexuality and autistic people. You see, it's been found in lots of studies that lots of LGBTQ whatever people are actually autistic, and it's been proven over many different times. Now, why is this the case? Well, there's probably three main theories that I've seen that is probably why. So I'm looking at here at the autism subreddit of some of the points why there's a link. One of the most likely reasons is due to the fact that we as autistic people are less likely to care about what society thinks, and we feel more comfortable than neurotypical people in our own skin. There's also a degree that we're more introspective. We are constantly looking at ourselves, seeing like, oh, how do we try to do this or that? Are we acting normal, quote unquote? So yeah, we're more introspective, so we're more likely to find out these things, Also, neurotypical people are more likely to suppress actual feelings or deceive themselves in order to conform to what they think society expects, you hear this a lot with like politicians. Some of them are anti-LGBTQ rights, but then you hear about them doing some crazy weird stuff with other people of the same sex. So they're more likely to hide that. Well, we are not, because we're more introspective. We are more comfortable in not following society's norms. Maybe we try to conform to them, but like it eventually gives way and we just give up on trying to mask ourselves to society. But I've also seen a link with autism and a bit of asexuality. Basically, being asexual means you don't have like a sex drive. You don't you can't feel like love. You can't feel like romance, to someone. But sometimes other asexual people don't feel that. They feel no type of love, but some do. But they don't have any interest in like doing all that nasty business, all the when a mommy and a daddy get together and all that stuff, So yeah, I noticed that there's a big link between many autistic people feeling the same way. That doesn't mean all autistic people are asexual, but lots of them are. In fact, I am asexual myself. I feel romantic feelings. I, of course, have crushes on girls, but I don't really have any desire to do all that nasty stuff. It kind of grosses me out, honestly. I'm like kind of not intrigued, but like curious about it, but like I'm not, every time I think about actually doing it or whatever, it grosses me out. I have like a slight curiosity, but not like I don't want to participate in it. No, thank you. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do if and when I eventually get a girlfriend slash wife, and how I want to have kids. I do want to have kids at some point. There's ways where you can have a kid without, doing the deed. So. Of course, there's also adoption, but I would rather pass on my own genes, But anyway, that's a whole different side topic. But yeah, this kind of grosses me out, the whole idea of like, sex, But many other autistic people feel the same way, actually. I saw someone else in that subreddit to say they're not asexual, but the idea of when neurotypicals talk about like sex. Like it's all, for some reason, it's very personal. Some people like to describe their like sex lives very personal, um, and I like why you want to hear that. So yeah, it grosses them out, you know. But yeah, there's a big link between that, you know. I also identify slightly, I think, with being bisexual. I think it's like 99% girls, you know. I do like them. But like maybe like just like 1% of guys I think that I do like, which is someone that is like that has like my body type, which is like chubby, you know. No offense to us chubby guys, but yeah, like I don't know, like maybe I'm still confused about that. The only one I know for sure is that I am asexual, because I am that nasty stuff. No, thank you. But I still feel romantic feelings and have crushes, you know. But the bi thing, I'm not completely sure about. But I think it's better to just say, yeah, I am with like 99%. I prefer girls, but like that 1%, you know. And another topic related to sexuality I see in this subreddit here is just the fact that many autistic people, they identify as being like straight or whatever, but like they're mistaken commonly for being like gay or bi or whatever. And in fact, I was kind of mistaken to be gay myself in elementary school. Can you believe that? Elementary school was rough, you know. God. So in elementary school, especially kind of throughout my whole school life, but more so, it was really prevalent in elementary school. I really didn't feel like I belonged with the guys group, you know, like because they would often do these things where it was like guys versus girls, you know, for like competitions, you know, for I don't know why they did that in my school, like, you know, for something like Kahoot or whatever. But I always didn't like being part of the guys. I think most of it was because of the fact that I didn't fit in with all the ones that were like being all loud, obnoxious, you know. The girls were more so quiet. They were talkative, but like to their own selves and being like not very loud. I don't know. So I kind of like was drawn to them. Of course, you know, with me, it's like, oh, I don't fit in with guys, but like girls, you know, there's like lots of ones that I find like attractive or cute or whatever. So like, but I related more to the girls' side, you know. And then because of that, some kids were like, oh, you're gay, you're this, you're that. So yeah, that's not fun. Again, middle school was better. High school was also better because I barely talked to anyone. But elementary school was like, yeah, rough. And I see lots of people say that too, for them, and it sucks that they get mistaken like that. Again, because we don't conform to like what society thinks of like what men, women, or whoever is supposed to be, you know. And lastly, about sexuality, I think we should discuss the thing going on with like intimacy, that, you know, many people that have like relationships love to like kiss each other, hold hands, and then of course do the other nasty thing. With me, I've never been a big fan of it. Not because it just feels kind of awkward, and I just don't like. I always feel nervous to do it. Like when I was, I told the story before a few times, but I like this girl, Jehovah Witness. We couldn't date, but she liked me, I like her. Eventually, we had a falling out, yada yada yada. But anyway, we couldn't date technically, but I still tried to like have like somewhat of a relationship with her. Like I tried to, you know, hold her hand, to hug her, to even try to kiss her, you know. And it just felt awkward every time. Like I just didn't, it just feels weird, and like, again, like it just has to do with touching. That's another thing with autism, you know, we don't really like touching that much. So that's part of it, you know, that relates to sexuality and stuff like that. But even when it's not like, you know, with like intimate, you know, when it's like a simple hug from like a family member, you know, I have trouble doing that, and I don't like that. Sometimes my mom wants a hug because, you know, we deal with some stuff we deal with some terrible things, you know, and I just feel I have to force myself to like give her a hug. Same goes for my grandma, you know. Not that I don't love them, of course I love my family, you know. Obviously different than the other kind of love, but like the same applies for either familiar or romantic relationships, whatever. It just doesn't matter. It just feels weird to me, and I don't know. So yeah, guys, I think that's gonna be it for the video. Don't really have much to say, but it is a very interesting topic, you know. Again, we are more autistic people are more likely to be part of like the LGBTQ community, for a few reasons. Probably because the biggest one is just because we don't fit into society normally, and also we're very introspective, so we're more likely to be more open with how we feel, you know. And also it just relates part to how autism works, you know. We find some things like touch gross, you know, or awkward, so that kind of influences our sexuality, you know. At least in my opinion, you know. Who knows exactly how sexuality is determined? I feel like it's not, because it's there's a whole topic going on. If sexuality, are you born with it, or do you like develop it over time? I think you might develop it over time, but I don't know, man. It's just confusing. That's a whole different topic, though. But either way, autism probably influences sexuality to some extent, whatever the case, you know, because you're born with autism, so you know, you probably, if you're born with a sexuality, that influences it. If you develop it over time, then you know, autism, we have experiences over time, and it can get rough, but it also could get better over time, you know. So yeah, either way it works, but yeah, that's a whole separate topic. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Damian Grace, for becoming a Patreon member. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, play some Xenoblade, and I'll catch you guys next time for more. Peace.